Hello there, somebody who's talking.
Jerry's talking.
Okay, Jerry's talking. Can you see me?
I sure can.
Okay, so you're using your telephone and your computer both.
No, I'm using my computer.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't have a camera on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a camera.
oh, because I don't see you. It just says Jerry.
I know you might not want to see me eating though. I'm eating my
Oh,
lunch.
okay. I'm admitting a few more. I'm admitting a few more.
Roger. I see John. I see Dean.
And you see me wearing my virus protection. I've got virus protection on. You know,
Looking good.
people are concerned with getting virus from their computers. So I wore virus protection today. I will unmute some people.
I see I'm the only one so far that wore the Kiwanis shirt.
Well, I thought about wearing it, but then I decided to, let's see, this is the first time I'm getting so many people in here, so I've got to unmute you, and I got to take this mask off because it's warm.
Oh, put it back on.
I hope Joanne will be calling in. Yeah, she probably won't call in until 12:45 because I told her that's what time it started. And,
Right.
Since I'm recording this, I will take attendance later. I have an attendance sheet sitting right here, so I can take attendance later. Oh, hello there.
Hey, Raj.
Hey, how you doing, gang?
Hi, Raj.
Hi, everybody.
Watson.
Skip.
Hi, John.
All right.
Admit
Hello.
Neil, admit Walt. Oh, we're getting them in here.
Neil. What
Hello.
do you do? Hi, Neil.
Okay. How can I get a lighter?
Sue is here somewhere. She's coming.
There.
Jerry still has his video muted, so that's okay.
If we get many more on this call, we won't be able to see each other because the screens will get so small.
I've only got one at a time.
Hi.
James. Hey, James, I can see your hand.
Well, you have to, trust me, they're very new at this, so there's ways on your screen to, I think it's in the upper right-hand corner, it says gallery view, and you can click gallery view, or you can click speaker view. And
Yeah,
right now, I just clicked to
top
the
left hand
gallery.
corner.
And so
Mine
I've
was-
got little pictures of everybody. But if you click that in the upper right-hand corner, and on your computer, it might be in a different corner. But it's
Well, I
a
see it
gallery view or
record.
speaker view.
Mine was in the top left-hand corner on my iPad.
Oh, wait, what's that down there? Roger.
What?
Just tells me who it is.
No, it's up in the upper left-hand corner. It says speaker's view and my PC.
I got to admit Sarah, and I got to admit Ken, Scott Fisher. You know, this is what's taking a little longer than normal is the fact that everybody goes into a waiting room, and I have to admit them.
Hi, Sarah.
And it's one of the safety things. Now,
Hello.
Owen, I'm unmuting you. There we go. Scott Fisher, I'm unmuting you. I'm unmuting you. Okay. So the only person that still is locking themselves out is Jerry's locking his video. He said you don't want to see him while he's eating.
Oh,
Yeah, when I'm done eating.
I like Scott's background.
I like
I
the
do
background.
too. Scott's the guy.
Hawaii, Bill.
He's in Florida, Hawaii, somewhere good.
Very nice. Someplace I wish I were.
I
Is that
really could
real or
have.
virtual background?
I really could have given you a series of backgrounds, and when we did some rehearsals the other week, that's one of the backgrounds I used. This is the Kiwanis background, which I really don't like, so I chose this one. We have our Kiwanis bell, and we have our Kiwanis flag back there.
I like Sarah's background.
And I could make you feel bad by saying this is our stock room.
Not Sarah.
But it's more like this is what the stock room looks like, and then we can just say there's a great picture for the whole series. That's the one I'm going to go with for the time being. Oh, not that one. That's the one that's too busy. That's the one that's too busy. There we go. So I will turn it over to our president and let
Okay,
him.
are we expecting any more?
Oh, we're getting more in here now. I'm admitting more.
Okay, we'll wait a couple seconds or a minute until we get the rest of the participants in. Now, Bill,
Yes.
my iPad, I still only see 9 screens. As more people are admitted, will I see more people or will
You
it?
can only see 9 on an iPad.
See, that's not a question I would have an answer to, but someone who who is used to it does.
I see 12.
I only have one.
You have a computer then.
Right.
I've got like 15 pictures, so to speak, and 2 microphones. And let me unmute that person and let me unmute this person because I'm not sure who they are.
Calling in?
I just brought 2 audios that just called in.
Oh, Emma's joining us too. All right.
But look at the puppy.
That's Emma.
That's Emma. Say hi, Emma.
That's good.
So I don't know. It's a guess that those of us who only have an iPad will only see 9 people.
I guess unless you hit the like I said, there's speaker view and there's, I just went into full screen. I really don't want full screen. I need my side on the side there to have, but I say we've got 2 people strictly on telephones and I don't know who they are. So those on telephone.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi. Yeah, I've been here.
Joanne is in the 21st century electronically now.
Hey, Bill, this is Walt Howell. I'm on, and I'm talking on the phone since I don't have a camera and a mic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Walt's actually on 2 bandwidths. He's got his telephone talking to us and hearing us, and he's got his computer hooked up so he can see us.
Well,
Oh, there's
Oh,
Jerry.
there's Jerry.
Yeah, I made it.
All right.
Just got lunch.
Oh, there's
Good
Jerry.
morning.
Hey, Jerry.
Morning.
And for those of you that weren't on
Where's
early,
Jerry?
I was wearing my virus protection, but now I'll take it off so I don't have to muffle my voice.
Yeah.
if we're not expecting any additional participants, and if I can't see the other than the 9 originals on my screen, do we have anybody that's not from our club, Bill?
No, International Trustee Chuck wished to be here, but he's on an online conference with International Finance Committee and International Trustee Kathy Zemansky. If she can join us, it'll be after 1 o'clock. She's already on a teleconference for something else.
Okay, so why don't we start our meeting as we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And we can sing God Bless
If I stand up, you won't see anything. I'll step back.
of the United States.
America. And to the
Republic, which stands
to stand.
one nation, under God,
Individual.
liberty and justice.
Liberty and justice for all.
God
Bless
Bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night and above.
from the ocean to the mountain, fight with both. God bless
America, home sweet home.
God bless
America, home sweet home.
Well, the heart was there.
Yeah, I think we just learned something.
There was plenty of heart there.
Yeah, the pledge and the singing.
Oh, I hear Ken.
Good idea.
I hear Ken.
Yep, I'm not sure my voice is working. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I hear you, Ken.
Now we see you, Ken.
is everybody able to hear?
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
I didn't see Nick there. I thought you might be down to having your surgery already.
Yep. Yes.
All right, President, it's back to you.
Okay, I'm assuming we have no committee reports, but if there's any to announce, now's your time.
How
Hey,
about
yes.
a moment of inspiration?
Hey, everybody, I have something.
Okay, well,
It's Walt Howell. Within the last week, I got an email from Jen Russ, who's the student services coordinator up at CIT inquiring as to whether our Kiwanis Club is going to continue to offer the two $1,500 scholarships to 2 graduating seniors. And I said that as far as I know, we would. But apparently the issue that came up is the fact that the schools are out and she didn't have access to, number one, the applications that had come in. And the other problem was that our original cutoff date was April the 1st. And she wanted to know if that could be extended. And I said that I believe that our committee would be agreeable to extending the cutoff date. So she was going to try to get me some applications. And I told her that my printer wasn't working now, so I wouldn't have a way of getting hard copies to anybody. And as it turns out, now that now that we're kind of in a stay-at-home situation, it would have been difficult for me to, deliver these things. So she was going to basically set up a situation where she would send us some altered applications. I haven't gotten them yet, but I did send an email to all of our committee members as well as our club secretary to let them know that once I got these applications, I would be emailing them, and then we would have to look at them and then make a decision on the top 2 persons. So I'm still waiting for those applications. I guess the other situation is going to be if our committee can make a decision quickly, if I get them before May 1st, because we did qualify for the $500 match for one of our 2 $1,500 scholarships, but that they wanted the name of the recipient and some other information by May the 1st. Now, if we haven't made a decision or I don't receive the applications by that time, it's going to be a little bit difficult to send them the name of a recipient when we haven't even decided on who that one recipient is going to be. So we're going to have to play it by ear a little bit. But we'll take things as they happen. The other thing, obviously, is since all of the schools are closed in Pennsylvania through the rest of the spring semester, we will not be having any more service leadership program meetings, that basically were already scheduled on through June. So we'll have to play everything by ear, but that would be my report.
Okay, well, thank you. James, anything from the opioid task force?
The only, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Really, the only thing that's going on is I've received a couple of invoices associated with website development from Darnell, and I'll forward those. I'll get those to Joanne. So there is some basic background activity going on as far as website development. But we're really kind of waiting on, what's going to be happening to decide if we're going to reschedule our meeting that was going to have Mariano Rivera in it. We're contemplating doing a virtual meeting with the task force, but other than that, there's really nothing going on. We're just hoping and praying for people who are in recovery and who are, going to be struggling with this, whether there's a pandemic or not, that they have resources that are available to them to get into and maintain their recovery. Yeah,
I can imagine with all these places being closed down, their access is going to be very limited.
Their access is definitely limited, but they're not all necessarily closed down. They are still taking people who are seeking to get into treatment. Most of them are, albeit with extremely stringent guidelines being followed to allow them to enter the facility and then stay in there. No visitations from outside at all.
Right. Yeah.
Just a quick comment. Our trustee, Mike Coolball's down here. Wave your hand. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Good. How's everybody doing? Thought I'd drop in to see how you're doing.
That's why we invited you.
Everybody staying home and being safe.
Yes.
You bet.
Yes.
We have a choice.
Unfortunately, as campus security, I'm still considered essential personnel, so I'm working just about every day.
But there's no campus of anybody.
No, there's nobody there. All we have is maybe one student in each dorm who are the resident assistants or the resident directors. But we monitor all the fire systems, so we have to staff our office and have at least one guy on patrol. We monitor all the alarms and everything that come in.
You know, as this progresses and moves into possibly the next beginning school year, and things roll out, I suspect that this may put a new light on what colleges and schools need as far as buildings in the future. And maybe they don't have to build as much equipment and facilities if they can do a lot of training and teaching from home.
Yeah, they did a lot of changes real quick. I think they gave the faculty about 2 weeks to come up with a way to get it out online, and all of our classes for the rest of this semester and summer semester are all going to be online. There'll be nobody on campus.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else has any? Because I have some stuff to report on then too.
I just want to give you a little update. We did have a convention meeting last night, so the convention still is in the planning stages. We've made arrangements with the hotel to reduce our minimums to 50%, which would be our minimum rooms that we would use and the food, anticipating possible lower attendance if we do have the convention. Right now, we're planning on still having it. That's going to be decided on what goes on in the world, whether we're going to have it or we're going to have to change something.
Mike, are you talking about the state, the decon, as opposed to the international?
I'm talking about our convention in August. In Reading.
Decon, yes.
Decon.
Yes, decon.
I'll talk about international in a moment.
Okay, very good.
Since
I
we're
don't
all
know any-
foundation members, I can tell you just preliminarily that and Barb, correct me if I'm wrong, we got about 6 applications in for our grants this year. And Barbara has been working on consolidating some of that information so we don't have to all have 20 pages of things sent out to us. And we'll have a meeting sometime later this month or early next month, whenever Barbara can get done with preparing those materials while she's not doing masks.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, I've been pretty much tied down to my sewing machine the last couple weeks, so.
So what have you been making, Barb?
I've been making masks for donations to the hospitals and nursing homes and whoever else needs them. I'm just
They
took a
look
quick,
like this. They look like this.
I just took a quick count. I'm up to 360.
wow.
Oh, my goodness.
She took the day off to clean the house today.
Yeah, it needs it.
And since Barb's talking, you've got a Kiwanis minute for us?
Well, I have a Kiwanis minute and I do have a quick moment of inspiration. If you want that really quick.
Yes, please.
These days, it's sometimes difficult to be in a good mood, but it's now more important than ever to be in a mood to be good.
Thank you, Barb. How about the historic?
Historic moment, I pulled this page out of the archives, and Roger, you might recognize it, I'm not sure. What happened in 1969? You attended the convention in Canada with Charlie Bomboy, and you can still hear the international president, who was Jim Moeller at that time, say, "I love the organization because of its simplicity in a complex society." Never so complex as it is now, right? Not one of our members pays a dime of dues in support of international projects. We have no such projects. The focus of Kiwanis is at the local or community level. Each club determines its own membership, each club selects its own projects, and each club fixes its own budget. In this way, it can and does become an indispensable part of the community that it serves. So there's been a few changes.
That's right, Barb. I remember that. We were in Toronto with Charlie Bomboy
Yep.
and my family. I was president that year, 1960.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
I had to look it up. And
It was a
then,
good meeting, a good convention, and I wish we could send more people like we used to do to the conventions. They paid my way and everything. Can't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yep. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Nope.
And you ended this report by saying, I end the year by passing the gavel to Chief Levin, who was off to a good start from the money he helped to raise. Your only question at the time was, could the club keep up with him? Well, apparently they did. So there's your little history for today.
That's right. He was
That
the
was
guy
my
that
graduation year from medical school. When you said 1969, what happened? I said, wow, one of the best things that ever happened to me was that year.
Ah, okay.
Dean just got on with video, and he had audio before, then he dropped off, and he's back on again. Hi, Dean.
I actually been on. I was lucky enough to hear all that singing as well.
All that lucky.
I'm a witness. I'm a witness to it.
All right, let me cover a few other things here that I've got. Later today, about 4 o'clock, there'll be a ballot going out from SurveyMonkey to all our Kiwanis members, except for Watson. Watson has elected with SurveyMonkey to not receive anything. So
I did?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you that. All I know is when I put everything in yesterday and it told me it's only going to have X number of emails going out, and I couldn't figure out why, because I had 41 emails listed, but they were only going to send out 40. So I dug deeper into it, and SurveyMonkey says basically Watson Hart will not accept emails from SurveyMonkey. Nothing to do with Kiwanis. So I will send you a separate personal ballot, but you're going to be voting on our club officers and directors and the foundation directors, and it's a ballot. Just click it off, yes or no, and send it back. And if you don't send it back in 5 days, SurveyMonkey will bug you again. And once we get everything together, now there was no room to add write-in positions, but if you've got a write-in position for someone, email me. SurveyMonkey is not as easy to use as you think, especially the free version. So that's going to go out today to everyone. Kiwanis International, I was just on Kiwanis International's page before I signed on today. There's no other news. There's nothing updated, but I do know they're going to make a decision by April 22nd about the international convention. That's the date that they publicized on Facebook. And it was also mentioned that the other major organizations, such as Lions, Rotary, and Optimists, have already canceled their international convention. So I don't know what that means. And although our newest member is not on with us, I want to remind everybody to welcome our newest member, DA Terry Hauk, and want to say thanks to Walt with some help from Skip for getting our new member. He got one. So that's what I've got there. And Lieutenant Governor Enos Martin, or acting Lieutenant Governor, in my book, he's Lieutenant Governor. Enos Martin sent us a new report today. When I send an email out to everybody with a newsletter, I'll send it along. But if anybody wants to nominate anybody for Pennsylvania Kiwanis Hero Awards, I will send you the link to that, and Enos will take care of it.
Did you call me?
Also, just before I got on this morning, this lunchtime, I called Nancy Fifield. I asked how Bill's doing, and she said he's got a bad day. He really wants to give up. And she said, it's not been good. And I said, well, you tell him that we're having a Kiwanis meeting at 12:45 as a computer. And I said, we're going to think about him. And he has to hold on today till at least 1:30 till the meeting's over. I mean, he can't make any decisions to leave this place until at least the meeting's over at 1:30. So she said, that's good. She said, I'll see if I can get that message through to him. So, but he's not doing well. And that's the notes that I had.
Now, as long as we have a group of people from our club present, are there any nominations on the floor for the open positions of president-elect or vice president? Do I hear any nominations? James, did you say something?
He's not flying now, so are you, Jim?
No, well, I am actually on reserve. There's a possibility that they might call me. I've actually expected to fly sometime this week, but I haven't flown since March 19th. Been happily sequestered here with Janet and Emma and not venturing out much. We just made one grocery store run they are maintaining the currency of a core group of pilots to be able to snap back the airline in case the economy comes back. I know United Airlines is positioning themselves to be ready to go and snap up some market share from other airlines that have sold off airplanes and parked airplanes. I don't know, what the next 6 months is going to look like. We'll see how it goes.
We just had another person join us. Kathy Zamansky's on there. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, everyone. Good to see you guys.
Oh, can you see us?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I'm not getting audio from you or video from you. I'm just getting audio.
No, when you have hair like mine, you avoid with this virus. You avoid when you can't go get it thinned. You avoid every visual you possibly can.
Having a long hair day.
Turbans and
I see, Sarah, you chose to just cover up, huh?
I mean, my hair looks the same regardless, but.
Kathy's got her audio muted, but I can't unmute it. So I'll try that there. This is learning to do all this stuff is interesting. I've got three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 16 screens in front of me, and there's little boxes on the corners of the screens of unmuting audio when I can. Kathy, I can't unmute her audio again. I don't know if she's there or not. There it goes.
Because I'm muting myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
Self-controlled at your end. All right. See how little things that I'm learning. I've got maybe an hour and a half now total time with Zoom.
Phil.
Yes, Roger.
I missed the update on Nick. Nick, what's the situation on you?
Situation?
Well, your surgery.
They've postponed it until June 26th, and we'll see if that actually happens on June 26th.
Okay, good. I just think it's really great that we have John and Ken back, because they had the worst situations I think that I've heard of in our group, and it's really great that they're behind you at this point, and it's going to be better.
Thank you.
All's well that ends well.
John, how's Mike doing?
He went back to work yesterday. Hopefully, he'll do all right. But he's recovering.
Well, Sarah's getting lots of kitchen time, I see on her Facebook page.
I finally get to do all the baking I want to do. Except now I'm out of eggs, so I can only bake bread.
You have no chickens in the backyard?
Not yet.
It's hard to get wheat from the stores anymore because many people are baking bread now that hadn't been doing it regularly before.
Yeah,
I sent out for flour on our next market run.
How are you doing?
Good stock ahead of time, so.
Ken, how are you doing?
Ken, how are you doing?
And yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I can't walk as far as I used to, but I'm walking, which is a real blessing because it started out I couldn't even stand up. So I'm doing well, and it's supposed to be a couple of month process to get back to normal speed, but I don't feel limited really at all with normal activities. So I'm really very blessed.
And for those of you that weren't at the meeting, the last live meeting I think we had in person, Scott Fisher is sitting there in front of a beautiful scene, just like Nick is. And Scott has been a long-time member from Easton Kiwanis, and he's now retired and has time to show up at our meetings. And then we take our meetings and close them out. So hello, Scott.
I was there one time. Yeah, Bill, just a comment. You mentioned Bill Fifield. So 1977, I graduated from Temple University and answered an ad at Easton Express for a display advertising salesperson, and went for the interview, and none other than Bill Fifield interviewed me, who was also a graduate of Temple University. And I think the reason he hired me was because I was a Temple grad. So I started with the Express in October of '77, worked for Bill for 2 years, but before I went on to Prudential after that. But Bill got me into the Kiwanis Club, I guess about 31 years ago. So
wow.
He was very much a mentor of mine, or is a mentor of mine, and I certainly learned a lot from him. His wife attended our wedding, and we always had such a great relationship. So So he's the reason I'm in Easton and in Kiwanis.
All right. Anybody else have good news to bring, or bad news, or just news?
Well, we attended a funeral yesterday for my former mother-in-law. So she died COVID related and was laid to rest yesterday. So that was, attending a funeral during this time was definitely a challenge, and it was not the way it should have been.
You actually attended the funeral?
There was a graveside ceremony, but only with the funeral director. We all spaced ourselves. We wore masks, and there was only 6 people in attendance. And they, this was in Northwood Cemetery in Philly, and there were 6 COVID patients that were buried last week. So it's everywhere. She lived in an upscale, very close to the main line facility. So it's in all of the facilities. It's not just the ones that are not good. It's reaching out to all different communities. So
well, Chuck Gugliazza, our friend, his mother fell at her house in Easton. Time escapes me, but I'm going to say 3 weeks ago, maybe. And Easton police had to break in to get her out with the ambulance, and then between one of Walt's friends in the police force and my comments, they were able to secure the house, and she's in Easton Hospital, and he's trying to find where to take her to a nursing home, because number one, there's not a money situation where they can afford to go into the nicer nursing homes. But apparently, according to a message 2 days ago, they're going to have some insurance coverage. Will cover her for some therapy. So I was talking today with the Easton home with Heidi, and one of the things that the news media does not tell us, because they don't know, they'll tell us about large nursing homes that have 10 or 15 or 20 deaths because there's 300 or 400 people there. But the smaller nursing facilities, you have no idea how many are sick or have died, because if they get sick, they send them to a hospital, and if they die at the hospital, the numerical count comes from the hospital, not from the nursing home where they collect or receive the COVID virus. So it's just some of that interesting news features that, because Chuck was saying, well, how are the nursing homes up there? Do you find many nursing homes with COVID patients or deaths? And when I started doing the research and found out that it doesn't show up as dying at the nursing home unless they physically did die there. So it's one of those misnomers in the news when you read about it, that there are a lot more cases in nursing homes, but they sent them to hospitals.
But the families can also, I know in our particular case, the family chose to keep her there as opposed to sending her to a hospital.
Yeah.
So they're opting because they don't want to scare. She was blind, so for her to be removed from her, it just.
Sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. No, she's a wonderful woman. She had been over the Philadelphia Eastern Star. She went quite high. I mean, multiple. So she was quite a remarkable woman.
I put a call in yesterday for Vic Dennis, and he never got back to me, because I do know the nursing homes, they're not allowed to congregate, so they have to stay in their rooms, and the meals are brought to them in their rooms. And so, of course, I'm thinking of Vic, and of course, I was talking to Heidi Groner at the Easton home, and that's why she can't be on today, because she's one of the staff that's actually serving meals in the rooms at lunchtime and at dinners and things like that. So
I saw where they needed masks.
Well, Barb has delivered how many masks now to the Easton home?
22 and 24, 40, 46 of them so far. If they need more, I'll be glad to get more to them.
We've delivered, Barb has delivered over 40 some right to the home, but the group Barb was making masks for, one of the facilities that they added actually delivered some masks to was the home. So we don't know how many Barb's masks actually got to the home, more than 40.
Yeah,
great. That's awesome. Great, awesome, Barb.
While everybody is on here, is there anybody who needs masks, or do you have any connection with facilities? Does Third Street Alliance need any, or is there anything I can do to help out any of the other groups?
I think that we received a donation from a church that donated a bunch of masks for the residents and for the limited staff that's there. I think that I heard that Step by Step might need masks. They're still running full force. They have, they're sort of like a half, I don't want to say a halfway house, because they're not people who are, they're people who have been released from state hospitals. It's a mental health facility where they live in the community, but they have caseworkers that are there 24/7, like a shelter, but it's not a shelter. But so they have residents that are out in the community, and they have staff people that have to continue to go into work because it's mental health.
And what was the name of that work?
Step by step.
Step by step.
We're coming up on 39 out of 40 minutes. I don't know if the system will cut us off. When we tested it the other week, they didn't cut us off at 40 minutes, so I don't know.
Well,
Bill, I saw a little thing, a little block that come up while we were talking that said that they were extending our meeting by.
I missed it, so okay, we're still good.
Yeah, I saw that.
It said you upgraded the service to unlimited minutes. It said our host did that.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In reality, it's $15 a month if you want to go to a Zoom meeting that allows more than 100 people, which would be wonderful. I don't know how I could sit here with the screen and handle more than 100 people. It's bad enough handling, I think we got 15 or something like that. And you can go to meetings that run 23 hours and 59 minutes long at one particular meeting if you upgrade to the better program.
well, I mean, I think this was a great first opportunity that we've experimented with for our first telecommunicating Kiwanis meeting. Does everybody want to continue to do this on a weekly basis?
I'd say let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely.
Okay.
We are.
Good. It's good to see everybody. So
Yeah. I'd like to have a meeting.
Hey, Barb.
Yes.
Well, I know that Chris Pultz, although he isn't on, I know that he has in the past volunteered quite regularly at the Salvation Army, and I don't know what their situation might be as far as need for masks. But well, I guess Lieutenant Minnow is still a member of our club too, and he's, as far as I know, he's the head of our local Salvation Army. So I don't know what their need may be, particularly with people coming to pick up food and stuff like that they offer.
Well, I can give them a call and see if they are in need. If they are, I'll see if they get some. Thanks.
Watson, you still in Florida?
Oh, yeah. Came home early.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got home on the 20th.
Oh, okay.
And we've been in the house ever since.
Well, in our development here, there's a bunch of people that are still in Florida because they don't have a car in Florida. They rent a car and they're not flying back, and so they're stuck in Florida.
Well, I have a friend that flew down to Florida on Allegiant, and he's been trying to get back for the last month. They keep canceling his return flight. So right now he's looking at April 29th.
That was our problem when we were in Spain, that we kept hearing about all these planes that were being canceled, and we kept holding our breath whether the last ticket we had was going to take off or not. Unfortunately, it did. But it's really disrupted transportation all over the world.
Well, James would know that.
There are 98% less people flying in the United States. I don't know about around the world. United's mostly doing cargo flights right now, trying to bring medical equipment in from different various countries. And that might be one of the flights that I do later this week.
Well, be safe, James.
Be careful.
Thank you, Dean.
Be safe.
Well, you'll see you've seen for weeks now, a lot of these smaller delivery vans that say Amazon delivery. I don't know how many thousand of these in this area they have, but they ran out of them. They had more jobs than they can get. So now they've actually rented the same white van from Budget. We happen to see over on 191 where they park some of the vans. There's about 5 locations in Lehigh Valley where Amazon parks these Amazon Prime vans for the deliveries for people asking for groceries and things like that. So they've ran out of vans, but they haven't run out of employees yet. They're still hiring, I understand. If you want to take a drive and drive around and try to find houses, anybody else have anything?
Anything else from any of the other participants?
How about Jerry? Jerry, how are you doing?
Doing fine, actually. We've got a house full of people and got a big yard to play in. And although I sure would like to get out and start traveling again. We were
That's good
just
you're home,
planning.
Jerry.
Yeah, we were just planning. Oh, the health? Oh, well, we're working on lung cancer right now. We're trying to work that out. Just got to keep the doctors moving. Sometimes they forget what they're doing.
Well, it is
No,
called
we're sure you'll
prostate
keep them
sometimes.
straight.
Oh, I have been, by the way. Actually had a PET scan today. Yeah, so we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
My
I'm
daughter,
glad you're staying on it, Jerry.
Yep.
You keep them moving.
Yeah, I've been on it. Believe me.
I know my daughter-in-law who is fighting leukemia. She was at Sloan Kettering in New York City for a month, and they released her about 2 weeks ago. And according to my son, he thinks they released her just to get her out of New York City because it was such a hotbed. So she's home, and she has to go into Sloan Kettering at Basking Ridge twice a week for blood work. But I mean, New York City was just a hotbed of infection.
Well, it's good to see. It's good to see everybody we've got here today. I'm glad, and I hope of a few people that were concerned about using
Bill.
Zoom.
Bill,
Yes.
before we go, let's hear from John Kennedy. I haven't heard from him yet.
He's hiding in the den.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say today.
Oh, Kathy's going to sign off. She said she's going to talk.
Yeah, she
She's got
texted.
other meeting.
She said goodbye.
John?
Things are going very well. We're back in the house, just enjoying being back. And as I said, Michael's gone back to work, so he's well, I went back to work yesterday, and he's still doing that night shift. So that's pretty interesting.
Barb, how about stepping over and taking that picture I asked? I said, bring your camera over and take some pictures.
Oh,
We
yeah.
discussed this about an hour ago.
I'm trying to get our mugshot.
John, it's wonderful that he's recuperated. Of course, he's in that younger group that generally has good results, but he's definitely somebody that we might want to consider as a speaker down the road to tell us about his experience.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll mention it to him sometime.
Please do.
I guess, I kind of wrote about it in the email that Bill forwarded to you.
Yeah, I forwarded it once. Maybe I'll forward it again with the next message.
Yeah, we saw that. That was remarkable.
Yeah, well, we're feeling pretty good about not having it and him being alive and actually feeling really good about all that. Thanks for your thoughts on it.
Well, I guess we can say farewell then today.
Move we adjourn. Bell yet? I have this is an official Kiwanis bell. They're hard to come by. I have a regular Kiwanis bell upstairs. I just didn't bring it downstairs. So we'll ring the Kiwanis bell for you.
We'll see everyone same time, same station next.
All right.
All right.
Everyone take care.
Take care, everybody.
Take
So long.
care.
Be safe. Be safe. Be safe.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.